What is good, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the We Sport Podcast. And today we have a special guest from DMV Sports, Abdullah. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
I'm doing great. So, guys, today, and of course, we have Chris here on his background's different. If you guys want to go check out Abdullah, I'm going to leave all of his socials down below so you guys can go give him a follow, watch his videos. Everything he does is fun. It's all Commanders, Washington Wizards, Nationals, and I'm forgetting one. What is it?
Capitals.
I'm forgetting one, but let's go. All right. So we're going to get started on our draft picks. So now we're going to start off with the first round pick of Jahan Dotson. I'm going to have Abdullah, then Chris and myself go. That's going to be the order just to kind of go in depth. So Abdullah, what were your thoughts about the pick? And obviously we traded back. So just to 16. So give me your initial thoughts.
So honestly, I was so hyped because I was like, Kyle Hamilton's there, Jameson Williams, the receivers that we all wanted. Mm-hmm. But looking at it, we needed more draft capital, and it was a good move. But at first, like Jahan Dotson, like everyone said it was a reach. But if I looked more into it, I mean, that guy was a monster in Penn State, and I forgot who was it. It was someone. I can't forget it. I'm blanking out his name, but said that he had the best hands in the draft, so that's good to see. A lot of people call him compared him to Terry McLaurin. So two Terry McLaurins on offense isn't terrible.
Yeah.
But Jahan, I mean, I just came back from OTAs and we talked to him, and the one question we asked was, has it been hard transitioning from college to the NFL? He was like, nah, man, it's the same. And I just love to see the confidence in him. And Jahan's a baller. And I just can't wait to see. He's going to make an impact day one. And with him, Terry, and Curtis, with Logan coming back healthy, and AG, and McKissick, and Brian Robinson, and Carson Wentz, this offense potentially could be a top 10. So initially I wasn't a fan of it, but it took some time. So yeah, I love it.
So Chris, what did you think about that draft pick?
First, I just want to start out to saying, not everybody is as cool as Abdullah. We can't just go talk to Jahan Dotson. But my thoughts is, first off with the trade back, they came in saying that they wanted to get more picks. So that was kind of expected. But I mean, I just still can't. It's still in the back of my mind that I can't get over Kyle Hamilton. I feel like Kyle Hamilton is a potential gold jacket guy in the future. Jameson Williams is a burner. I feel like I would have took Jameson Williams over draft capital too. But at the end of the day, I feel like Jahan Dotson, if we're being truthfully, you could say it's a little bit of a reach. But at the end of the day, I feel like once he starts balling out, not a lot of people's going to care about where he was picked, because I do think he's going to ball out. He's going to ball out pretty early. There's a lot of reports of him having the best hands, like Abdullah said, and there's a lot of reports of him being the most pro-ready receiver in the draft. And if you go check him out, he actually had better numbers than Chris Olave in a worse situation, I'd say. Though Chris Olave does share targets with multiple receivers in the Ohio State offense. But, yeah, I think pretty much it was a decent pick. I feel like Treylon Burks was the better receiver on the board as well. But at the end of the day, I feel like Jahan Dotson is going to ball out. But at the end of that, I do still think it was a reach. And in my opinion, I still like Hamilton and Jameson Williams, though.
Yeah. So for anyone that was there on the draft night, you guys saw my initial pick. I'll even post a little clip of it during the conversation. But I was super mad. I was mad. And I remember texting Chris, and I was like, I remember, and Chris is going to laugh at this. I remember I texted him like maybe was it 2 weeks ago. And I was like, I'm a little nervous on who we're going to draft. He's like, yeah, I am too. And he was like, I was like, how much you want to bet we're going to reach on somebody and we're going to be forced to like him because he's on the Commanders? And that was exactly the situation that happened with Jahan. But I do like Jahan Dotson a lot, kind of like how you guys said. It's another Terry McLaurin prototype. His jump ball, I think it was his jump ball. He had like the best jump ball in the nation. And that's basically what Terry was. Terry had the best jump ball, percentage in the NFL. I think that Jahan Dotson can easily make an improvement in, I guess, our deep threat kind of offense. Because obviously last year, minus Terry, we didn't have anyone, maybe Diami Brown, maybe that we could just throw it to deep. And obviously Curtis Samuel, who was out a lot too. But I think this pick was a good pick. I think, like kind of quick what Chris said, it was a little bit of a reach, and Treylon Burks was the better player there. But I feel like Treylon Burks reminds us a lot of like a Curtis Samuel in a way where he could do the jet sweeps. He could do all that stuff. We really don't need guys like that because that's not what our offense is focused around. It's more focused on conservative and, 50-50 deep balls down the way. But now we're going to go into our second round draft pick, was Phidarian Mathis. I'm gonna let Chris go first, actually, because I know Chris was so mad at that current time when we picked him up. So Chris, let me hear it. What do you think about Fedarian Mathis?
All right. So Fedarian Mathis, shout out to Fedarian Mathis. Like as a Commanders fan, Washington fan in general, you gotta learn how to like the players you get and don't throw a fit because you're not always gonna get who you want. They don't never really give the fan base what they want. Of course, I was going into the second round, you got guys like Malik Willis open with a lot of potential. Kobe Dean before we knew he had the shoulder thing going on. So going in, I definitely wanted the Kobe Dean. He's just right there. I think he was a top 20 pick in my opinion still. But Fedarian Mathis, I'm gonna keep it right. I did not know who he was before the draft, going into the draft. I couldn't say his name back to back when we drafted him. I don't know. I probably called him a couple of different names. I probably called him like Fedarian Williams or something on draft day. But honestly, I do think that with whatever Daron Payne got going on, I do think that it was a good move getting an insurance policy for Daron Payne in general. It was a little bit of a reach. I think he had a 3rd round grade, but it couldn't get much better because I heard he led the league in sacks as a defensive tackle.
All right, so what do you think about it, Abdullah?
Yeah, so I mean, like Chris, I was upset. I wanted a linebacker because, I don't want David Mayo starting defense. So the thing is with Fedarian, I understand it was a reach. Again, that's what kind of upset me as well. But again, if we are trading Daron Payne, why didn't we trade him during draft night? Because at the end of the day, if we get another defensive tackle, teams are going to know, his value is going to go down. It's just it's just not knowing how to adequately or efficiently trade players on the team. And even today at OTAs and reports as well that he was practicing by himself. And I don't know, there was a report saying that he left practice, but he said it wasn't true. But at the end of the day, I mean, we all thought he was going to get traded. So hopefully Fedarian turns out to be great. A defensive tackle, again, a reach. It kind of hurt me a lot because, linebacker, but I don't know what the situation with Landon Collins is looking like. So we'll see.
So when we picked him up, I think I was pissed. I'm just going to keep it real. I wanted Leo Chenal or Chad Muma as I was watching their highlights for all of the months. I was telling Chris, I was even waiting for Kirby Joseph to come through because Kirby Joseph was another safety I really wanted. Nick Cross was another safety I really wanted to. You know what? It's like, welcome to the Commanders, but it's like, I don't know if I'm going to sit here and be so happy. If he succeeds, then I can't wait to go back on this and say that we were all wrong and, life moves on. But with Fedarian Mathis, I mean, he led, like Chris said, led the league in the sacks. He had 10.5 tackles for loss, 53 total tackles. He had 2 passes deflected, which I don't even know how the hell he got that to happen. But yeah, now for our 3rd round pick, we had Brian Robinson Jr., running back out of Alabama. Whoever wants to go first and talk about Brian Robinson Jr., I'd love to hear it.
Chris, you got it.
All right, so appreciate you giving it to me, Abdullah. But yeah. So Brian Robinson, it got a lot going on. I felt like we were pretty decent at running back. We didn't really need Brian Robinson. But with that being said, it's kind of like Jahan Dotson. He's gonna be a dog in the league. He's gonna be a goal line back with a lot of touchdowns, kind of like how Antonio Gibson got a lot of run with touchdowns in his rookie year. I expect him to come in on the goal line and get a lot of touchdowns like that. And he's a tank. He's gonna help a lot. I'm interested to seeing how this run committee goes. We'll see. But I've heard that the past with run committees don't really work. But it's just like we got to see. They try to a lot of different things, and we'll see. Maybe, but one thing I am looking forward to is Antonio Gibson's health because, if you really pay attention, Antonio Gibson played all that last season about hurt other than week 1 probably. He got hurt from week 1 on down, and, it was getting really bad. And, J.D. McKissick couldn't finish out the season with his with that hit he took against Seattle. So, we'll see. I feel like it'll keep the backs fresh. We didn't really need it. I would have liked to go linebacker that round too, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, we're cheese at linebacker right now. I mean, we got David Mayo. We got to see how Jamin Davis is gonna look again. Cole Holcomb's that he's good, but other than that, we don't really have nobody that we just know for sure. Hopefully, Jamin Davis can take another step, and we'll go on from there.
I agree. So with Brian, again, like we just didn't need a running back, man. But when I looked at it, and another co-host of mine on the channel, Naughty, who's an Alabama fan, he was raving about this guy. Never fumbled in high school, was a tank. But again, I just didn't know if it was needed. But he's gonna make an impact day one. I agree on that. It's just the fact that if we talk about the running back committee, I think the guy looking out is Jared Patterson, the PG
Yeah.
County kid. So I don't know. Like again, linebacker, it's just a need. But if Brian Robinson turned out to be a stud, then who knows if that affects AG's role and everyone. Going to the fantasy perspective here for a second, but we're gonna be a running back committee. So how they split it, it's gonna be interesting. Scott Turner, there's really no excuses for you to be bad this year. That's all I gotta say.
I just want to add, Scott Turner, you got a lot to work with. Stop arguing with fans on Twitter and just do your job this season. And I want to also say, like you were saying about Jared Patterson, everybody loves Jared Patterson. Great story. Grew up a Washington fan from DMV area. And he loves playing with the team. He loves playing with Chase Young. And it'd be bad if we had to leave him out. Unless we're run with 4 running backs. He'd probably be, one of the guys on the practice squad or something like that. And if he goes there, I feel like somebody definitely will take him. He got a lot. And he got a lot of talent still. He's just a smaller guy.
Yeah, with this, when I heard about this, like you guys are saying, this running back committee, it reminds me a lot of just the 49ers a few years ago. That's like when initially that's what I go to is running back committee. Is a bunch of guys who are very good. There's one good and just a ton of average. Mostert was the lead role in that. And then there was just a bunch of just average. And there's nothing wrong with that either. Do I think that our team could be like, just a running back committee where we throw the ball, 30 something times a game and just Jimmy G this whole entire season? Maybe, I don't know. But I personally am not a fan of that because I feel like then it gives Terry McLaurin a lower production rate. It gives Logan Thomas a lower production, Jahan, Curtis. That's why I'm not a fan of this running back committee. I'm a fan of it to the goal line perspective that Chris said, because we had Gibson, and Gibson's a small guy. He's not a very, buffed up dude. He's got skinny arms, skinny legs. Dude's going to just run through, every time and may get it 1 out of 5 times. With a guy like Brian Robinson, we could easily just have a goal line threat every single time. So I think that'll be, he's a good pick. I give it like a B overall. Now for our 4th round, he was our 4th round pick. Percy Butler, safety out of Louisiana. I know Chris was a huge fan of this. And if you guys want to just get on started with Percy Butler.
All right. So Percy Butler, first off, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really know much about him, but after just looking into it, simple as that, super fast guy, ran like a 4.37 or something like that, and he's super fast. They say he's one of the best pure coverage guys in the draft, and all I say is he's also predicted to play a lot of snaps early, which I like to hear, and I'm really looking forward to see how he's doing. Hopefully he can move into that rangy free safety role because we still have not found a rangy free safety. And that's a lot why I wanted Kyle Hamilton. But, I feel like if he can be that rangy free safety, it'll turn out great pick for us. But he can for sure come in the nickel spot. I believe they said he'll play it a little bit. I know they said something about like 50% of the snaps they expect him to play, something like that. And he's going to contribute on special teams early for sure. So, decent pick.
Yeah, I agree with Chris here. I mean, we got depth at a position that's definitely needed. And even if he doesn't play at the safety position, we still have special teams. So, great pick. And, he talked about him being really fast and being able to cover. So, it's great to see.
Right. And I think he's really good, honestly, in my opinion. I think Percy, his speed and agility and his quickness to just make a decision on the ball, it's phenomenal. He wasn't really much of a ball hog during his last year of college. Only had about 1 interception, but with 4 passes deflected and 3 fumble recoveries, I'll say that's a pretty good. I think that at kind of what Chris said, I didn't know who it was at the beginning, but he's one of my top favorites that we picked up in this draft for sure. I think he'll succeed a lot. He'll help him, and Bobby McCain can just really learn off of each other and help out one another at that free safety position. But now we go to the beautiful quarterback position of Mr. Sam Howell, Baker Mayfield 2.0, in my opinion. Abdullah, what do you think about Sam Howell and how he's now a commander?
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know, I go to Virginia Tech, and last year college football we played number 10 UNC, Sam Howell. Everyone was hyping them up, and honestly, I didn't know who the guy was, but everyone was saying before the game that he was the number 1 projected overall pick, overall. So I was like, man. But then he stunk up the bed, and UNC he just regressed that season. But again, you got to add some context. He lost his favorite target, De'Ami Brown, who's now on the Commanders. He lost Michael Carter. He lost, I think, so it was a lot of weapons. It was a new offensive line, and I honestly think he's the most pro-ready quarterback, especially in the 5th round. That value is insane. Yeah. So I say, because obviously he's not going to start right away because we have Carson. So if we give him a year just learning, especially with Taylor ahead of him, it's great, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised if he's a starter in 2 to 3 years. So, and again, great value in the 5th round.
Let me ask you guys this. Could you guys see Sam Howell in a situation 4 or 5 years down the road, Sam Howell being the starting quarterback of the Washington Commanders?
That's not too far-fetched. Anything can happen. Anybody can be our quarterback in 4 years? So about 2026, 2027, anybody could be our quarterback then. I may be the quarterback of the Commanders in 2026 at this point. You never know, but it's definitely possible. Right. I definitely think he could be that guy.
And kind of like what Abdullah says too, he was probably the most NFL ready. Obviously, Malik Willis has the highest potential out of everybody, but I think that Sam Howell was more. And maybe would you throw Kenny Pickett in that conversation of being more NFL ready? It's there. What do you, I mean? I
feel like
he had 1 year though. It was just one. It was like what Dwayne Haskins had, 1 great year, and then plus Kenny Pickett is old too. So
how old is Kenny Pickett?
I think because he took because of the COVID year. I think he's 25. I mean, obviously it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I also saw Kenny Pickett play in person, but I really think because Sam Howell, if you look back at others, he had 3 years in college. Look at those other 2 years. He was balling. I mean, he can also. He's not afraid of running the ball as well. He had over 800 rushing yards last season. So he put the team on his back. Obviously, the team didn't do great. But at the end of the day, if you put him around great talent, which we have in Washington, we know what he can do.
Yeah, right. So now we're going to go now to my favorite quarterback. Not my favorite quarterback. My favorite pick of the whole entire draft was Cole Turner. Now, you're probably wondering why, but this guy is a stud. This dude is 6'7", played at Nevada, had 10 touchdowns, 62 receptions for 677 yards, which is not bad. He was probably, Carson Strong is one of his favorite targets. In the 2 years, he's recorded 2 back-to-back 600-yard seasons. I love this pick. Because, we went through a lot of this with Logan Thomas, where Logan was injured, and we were kind of relying on the rookie John Bates. Ricky Seals-Jones ended up going down. So I think we were kind of thin at tight end. But to me, this pick is my favorite pick. We officially, I think, have probably the best red zone tight end in the draft. I think easily he could be a huge threat to a lot of teams that will play this year. So what do you guys think about Cole Turner?
Cole Turner, big target. I seen something where he was like his measurables was comparable to Zach Ertz. So that's good for Carson Wentz, of course. And a thing is, like you said, we got Logan Thomas out for however long, because Logan Thomas got hurt like November-ish. So you never know if he'll be ready week 1 or however long he'll be out. So you definitely need some depth there. And, it was getting rough towards the end. We lost Ricky Seals-Jones to the Giants, which is bad. And we have Bates. Bates is still going to be a guy. He's still tough. And we'll have Logan Thomas back whenever. And who else we got in that room?
Sammy Reyes.
Oh, Reyes. I don't lost hope for Sammy Reyes. I don't think he's gonna get on the field nowhere but this time. But good story. I just don't think he'll get it no more. But this point, I do like Cole Turner, and I think he's gonna contribute early when Logan Thomas out, and then Logan Thomas will take back over his role, of course.
Right. So what do you think about Cole Turner?
I mean, same thing with Chris said, honestly. Like, Logan's going to be out for a couple weeks rehabbing, and, if John Bates can't do it, Cole Turner, athletic freak. I mean, 6'7", just throw it up there. Carson Wentz, obviously, in Philly, he had Zach Ertz, and in Indianapolis, he had Mo Alley Cox. So he loves his big tight ends, and hopefully he makes an impact day 1.
Yeah, I think Cole Turner, but just my opinion, he's just my favorite because I think he's so versatile and I think he can help out Wentz a lot too. We obviously saw what he did in Indianapolis with Mo Alley Cox, and we saw what we did with Zach Ertz and Philly. So I'm really excited to see what he's going to do with Cole Turner. And obviously, I don't want to say I hope Cole Turner can become our tight end one over Logan because I love Logan a lot, but I want to see Cole Turner succeed and be our hopefully our brand new Jordan Reed, or for the Washington fans who love Jordan Reed. I just hope we can find ourselves a new Jordan Reed and Cole Turner. And now we are going to go to the seventh round because we never not have a sixth round pick.
Minus the injuries, y'all. By the way, you can't mention Jordan Reed without saying minus the injuries, bro.
Oh yeah, minus the concussions that he had to go through, unfortunately. But now we're going to go to not the starting point guard of the Phoenix Suns, but the offensive guard from Tulsa, Chris Paul. Now, personally, I don't even know much about him. It's just his name recognition is so funny. But what do you guys think about Chris Paul?
Is depth for the offensive line. I don't even know much about him. Shout out Chris Paul. And let's hope he gets a ring before CP3.
Right.
Shout out Baby Troy.
I mean, for me, like I heard he was a good character, probably military background, of course, Ron Rivera checklist. But Chris Paul, I mean, obviously adding depth at the guard position, which we need. We lost Eric Flowers, we lost Brandon Sheriff, added Andrew Norwell, and obviously we need to protect Carson Wentz because if Carson Wentz is a terrible O-line with those FedEx Field conditions, it's not going to be a good day for our beloved Washington Commanders.
Right. The good thing, though, about having Chris Paul, though, is that in all seriousness, I think the good thing about having him, too, is because obviously we have Wes Schweitzer as one of our backup right guards, who I think could have been the starter right guard for us this year. But having Chris Paul and Wes Schweitzer at backups, and obviously if you guys remember last year with the whole COVID season and what happened last year, depth at offensive line is not that bad when you have, Keith Ismail starting at center when I think he was originally a guard or a tackle. It was horrendous. So honestly, any depth at offensive line to me personally, I will take it after the season last year. And I don't know, having Chris Paul there, who knows? Boy, like Chris said, might win a ring beforehand. Who knows? But now we're going to be going on to our last pick, our seventh round pick, which I was a little interested by this pick, but it was Christian Holmes, cornerback out of Oklahoma State. He was a transfer, I believe, from Missouri to Oklahoma State. He transferred back in 2021, I believe. And he had a solid year, going 33 tackles, 1 sack, 1 interception, 6 passes deflected. I like this pick a lot, but at the same time, I'm a little confused by it. So what do you guys think by this Christian Holmes guy?
I feel like we could have got a better corner in my guy from Clemson, Mario Goodrich, but other than that, I don't know much about Christian Holmes, not gonna lie. And I just hope he balls out and contributes in any way he can. And
I wouldn't say our cornerback room was super thin because obviously we had Benjamin St. Juste, so we had Kendall Fuller, William Jackson. Chris, am I forgetting anybody? I know Danny Johnson's one of them too, but
Danny Johnson's decent. I feel like we could add more. I feel like we need to still sign another veteran corner, and I feel like that's the way we should go.
Could have been James Bradbury, but he went to the Eagles.
Yeah, exactly. And but Joe Hayden's still out there, I believe. So maybe Hayden.
We were connected to Joe Hayden for a little bit. I don't know if that connection's still there, but if we get Joe Hayden, dude, and another thing too, Deion Jones. I don't know if you guys heard Deion Jones, linebacker. He might get cut from the Falcons. So I mean, listen, he didn't play for the Panthers, but he did play in the NFC South. So that has to be some good enough credentials for Ron Rivera to be like, oh, I want this guy. So I'm praying to God, but yeah, I don't know, guys. What would you say our record is after all of this, Abdullah? After the draft, free agency, what would you give our record? In all honesty,
and we made a video about this on the channel. Basically, essentially, the easiest record in the NFL season up and coming. Last year, add some context: COVID year, injuries, 7 wins with Taylor Heineke, with the hardest schedule in the league. I'm telling you guys, with a beefed up offense. Carson, obviously, we don't need him to be great, but if he's above average, defense plays up to par. Obviously, we don't get hit by the injury bug early. I see us winning 10 games.
Yeah, I can see 10 games also. But realistically, my probably my like actual pick, it's gonna be 9-8. We have to really just look in the mirror and remember what team we are, what division that we play in, who we play in that division with, and we have to remember who our team is. I think that 9-8 is probably the most realistic record that we can go through. Obviously, I want to be wrong and excel at that. We were a playoff team last year up until COVID. And that really just killed the momentum. So if we don't have any momentum shifts at all throughout the season, and Chase Young can have a bounce back year after tearing his ACL, which, by the way, Nick Bosa kind of had that similar thing. He tore his ACL his second year, came in this year and had 15.5 sacks. So I'm hoping to see that we can get something like that from Chase or Montez. We just need someone to step up.
That's the thing. All right. But the thing is, for me, like Abdullah said, 10, 11 wins, I think is not ridiculous to say that, mentioning what he was mentioning about getting 7 with Taylor Heineke, all of the issues we had down the line. We had a lot of more games we left on the board because of all the issues we had went through down the season. But the thing is, like Stephen A. says about the Cowboys, we're Washington, and at the end of the day, what can go wrong will go wrong. So at the end of the day, something's going to end up happening regardless, no matter we like it or not. Something's going to end up happening, which is going to eventually hold us back, of course. And so I'm going to say 9 wins, maybe 8 wins at least. I feel like we got to at least get away from the 7-win mark, because we had 7 wins the first year with Ron Rivera. We had 7 wins this year, and I feel like we get 7 wins a lot of the years. So I hope we can get
at least one of those 7 wins was for the division.
Yeah, I mean,
shoot.
I have a question for you guys. So, what record would make you think that Ron should be fired?
5-12.
Probably anything under 5. Anything under 5.
I'm not like to the point where I want him gone, but I'm to the point where I would keep Ron. I would just fire Scott Turner and Martin Mayhew.
If he can drop his balls and fire those guys, we can keep Ron. I feel like Ron isn't the real problem. We got to upgrade from Scott Turner. If the defense don't get back to how it is, we got to get away from Jack Del Rio. I mean, you helped us that first year, but if you can't be consistent, you got to get out of here and stuff like that. So if he gets under 5, then he got to go too.
Yeah, I think that I'm not saying that we need to clean house just yet, but Mayhew's got to go after this draft. I'm sorry, that draft pissed me off so much.
Yeah, Mayhew, I don't know, man.
And Scott Turner, Chris knows how I feel about Scott Turner. I can't stand that idiot. But that's just and then when we signed him to an extension to a multi-year deal, Abdullah, I lost him, bro.
Even when I saw him today, I was about to call him Mr. Screen. But the thing is with Scott, like, obviously we can all, the defenders of him will say that he hasn't had a real quarterback. Well, there's no excuse now. You have Carson Wentz.
No, there's going to be another excuse. Just wait. Give it till week 2. There will be another excuse. It's going to be something stupid. And just
I mean, got the quarterback that they've been begging for, a quarterback with a good enough arm. So there's no real excuse. The playbook is getting opened up. You got a lot of people to put in. You're going to keep guys fresh with your running back committee. And you got a lot of receivers to make some plays. So Scott Turner has no excuse, in my opinion. And the thing is, like Ron Rivera said, he said it would take about 3 to 5 years. And this is year 3, so he got to pick. He got to start
3 to 5 years for what?
To build a real contender, or something like that. He was talking about. So this is year 3, so he got to start getting over 7 now. So anything under 5, he got to go.
Yeah, facts. Well, thank you guys all for watching. Abdullah, thank you so much for coming on today. We've been working on this, trying to get this all happen for about 2 months now. It's been all my fault. I will even put myself out there. It's been on me. But we're happy that we actually get to do this. And I hope we get to have you back on again, Abdullah. You're absolutely awesome to have on.
Yeah, of course, guys. Appreciate you guys. I mean, obviously, us fans, the team hasn't been great for our lifetime. So us fans, at least we're together and watching this. How long?
Wait, Abdullah, wait. What year were you born in?
I was 2002. So I think
you haven't seen nothing like us.
Yeah, no.
I feel like ever since we was born, they're like, yeah, no, we're not going to have these kids ever watch anything. We're going to wait until they pass on to find some new success. But thank you guys all for watching. I'm going to leave Abdullah's stuff down below. I'm going to leave Chris's stuff down below. And thank you guys for watching the Commanding Takes podcast today. Thank you so much and have a great day.